Good morning, ladies. So today is the day. So if you weren't listening to or watching my video yesterday, 11 days passed. I was doing a live stream and I thought I seen a negative, but then when I finished my live streaming and had a shower, I looked at the test and it had like the faintest line. And so I uploaded it and it looks lighter than what it actually was anyway. So I'm not sure if it's an indent or this is late implantation for me, or not implantation, but a late positive for me. I've never had it at 11 days past ovulation. I've always had it from 8 or 9 days past ovulation. So it's really concerning me. So before I continue, I'll just show you a quick clip of what happened when I woke up. I just gave you my thoughts and opinions, and then I'll come back to you once that little clip goes in. It's early hours of the morning and I have not been able to sleep. So many things going through my head. I even did another test and the test is coming up slightly. So you would have thought, or looked like an indent, and it seems to have a little bit more pink in there, only slightly, because we're not even doing it 12 hours later, you know what I mean? And I don't know what to think. I don't know if it's real or not. My emotions are all over the place. And when I talk about my symptoms, and that I haven't had any, I think the biggest one I did not realise is that my emotional state this week has just been up and down. Even Brad said that, but he didn't want to say it. I have said to him, and we're renovating, and you can understand how renovating is quite intense, and I got up him a few times, but you know, I'm like a decision maker, and I think I was just very overwhelmed trying to do everything and work and whatever. And I said to him, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've like almost cried 4 days straight for like not even no reason. Like, it's stressful, but I was like, what is wrong with me? And I think if anything, that's probably a huge symptom. Last night, 3:30 in the morning, I woke up and I actually felt like I wanted to vomit. Which was really strange because I had a really good heavy meal, and then I thought I was completely out because I started having cramping, and I mean heavy cramping like you're on day 2 of your cycle. So I thought, oh no, and I went to the toilet that many times to see if AF was coming, and it wasn't, and it's been lasting all night, and but not now. And I kept checking my Fitbit watch to see what my pulse was. I checked my temperature and that was still up. It's driving me crazy. If this is true, I've never implanted or like had such a late positive. So I'm so confused now as either I've ovulated late or I've implanted late, and that this has never happened before. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So I just don't it's hard to know whether it's real or not. And it is Easter Sunday here, and Brad will be back today, and when I do I have to hold my wee now. So I have to hold it for another 4 hours. So he's definitely not going to be back by then. But I'm hoping it comes out even that little bit darker, even for you guys. So crossing my fingers, and we'll check back in 4 hours. Maybe I can get a little bit of a sleep between then. Okay, so as you've seen, yeah, I'm a tad emotional about this. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm going to do another test, and while we're waiting here, I'll just open up another test. So today I am 12 days past ovulation, and I'm hoping that this line does get a little bit darker. I will just dip it in to show you. It is, how do you do this that way? It's a blank test. And then I'll just show you again as it goes, just waiting. It's a little bit blurry, isn't it? Okay, so it's starting to go through now. So I'll put that back in its packet and then have a chat. So basically I'm really confused and I'm very worried because I'm not sure if my AF will come and it'll end up being a chemical pregnancy or whether it's just an indent, which I've never seen on these tests. I have seen them, but that's like up in the light where you're squinting and you know you can just see a line in there. I've never actually seen it visually where I don't even have to look. So it just didn't look pink. It was like extremely light pink, nearly like a grey, but it did have a tiny bit of colour to me. So I started Googling this morning and I did see a website there on, I think, Ava. And it did say that the average days past ovulation is the days past ovulation for implantation is either an average of 9 days past ovulation for implant. So it can make sense because it takes 3, maybe 4 days for your HCG to rise enough to show on a pregnancy test. And also day 23 is a very common implantation date. So if I go back to day 23 on my cycle, which that's when I normally actually get positives, I had thick yellow CM. I had a little bit of breast soreness. I had nausea all day. It was just like a day of symptoms, dizziness and indigestion, and my heart rate was a lot higher. So my resting heart rate was 74 as opposed to 55 before pregnancy. So this particular day was like a day of symptoms for me when I just looked back on my app. Then last night I was totally thinking I'm definitely out because 9:30 I went to go to the toilet and I had this very light brown mucousy type of discharge, and I thought, oh great, the witch is here or coming, you know, overnight. So I went to bed. I've got my things that I use while I'm on my period out, put it next to the toilet. 3 o'clock in the morning I woke up with just cramps so bad, you know, like on day, you know, probably day 2 is probably your worst cramps. It was like that deep intense cramping and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And so got up, went to the toilet, nothing, absolutely nothing, not even any remnants of the brown dischargey thing I got at 9:30. And I was thinking, why is it hurting so bad? Like AF is here. Like I don't even get the pains until like maybe 12 hours after I've started. So anyway, nothing was there. I went back to bed. Still woke up through the night. Oh yeah, so when I did actually get all those cramping, sorry, I actually looked at my heart rate and my heart rate was still up, and I checked my temperature and my temperature was still 36.8 at 3:30 in the morning. So I thought that was unusual if I was going to get my period, why my temperature would still be so high. Yeah, anyway, so I went back to bed, still had cramping all through the night, like between 3 and 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I got up and still nothing. Then I took another test, so I couldn't help myself. I had to. I just thought I was seeing things. I didn't even record it, and it did look a little bit darker. So, but it didn't have that strong pink, and that's what's getting me. Even though, I mean, it's silly because it's not even 24 hours. I'm, taking another test. So it takes 48 hours for your HCG to double. And even today, me doing one right now, 24 hours later, is silly because, it's not going to increase too much. So I just hope it's not playing with my mind. And until I get a blazing positive, it's not going to be exciting for me, because if it's not and it doesn't get darker, well, then I'm going to be worried about, you know, whether it's going to be a chemical, because this has never happened. I've never experienced this, and I know that every pregnancy is different, but my last 4 have been basically exactly the same. So it's either going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It's going to be, okay, well, it's good that it's not like the others and maybe this time it'll stick, or it's worse than the others and I'm not even going to get to my 6 weeks, like, because I always get, I think my average is around over 7 weeks to miscarry. So I woke up, I was actually going to wake up this morning, not even take progesterone or anything. So I woke up, and because I still had nothing, and I still have nothing now, and it is 12 o'clock. So yeah, still nothing except a tiny bit more of that mucousy discharge, like barely there. It's actually, yeah, very strange. So anyway, I'm going to check the test now. And it's there again. But it's not as, it's still not dark. I'm wanting it to be a blazing pink, not blazing, but I want it to be a solid pink. And if it's an indent, I wouldn't see it like visually, and it's not going to be able to show up on camera, because it's still so light. So I'm not even sure. I'm going to have to take a picture and then just pop it in as well. I'll see if it does. So the one yesterday is, yeah, it's definitely darker than the one yesterday, and probably be the same as the one this morning. I don't think you're going to see it on here. Look, I can't even get it to focus. Whoops, it's moving my camera. It's not even focusing. I'll have to take a picture of it. It's just one of those ones that you get right at the beginning. Look, on certain angles you can see it. Let me try this angle. Sorry girls, I'm like, this has never happened to me before. I've either, so I'm not sure. How about I just pop in the picture and see what you think? So I'm gonna have to either wait a day or wait 2 days and see if it comes through. And if it doesn't, then, you know, and I don't get my period, I get it late, then I know it's going to be a chemical. It's definitely there, I'll tell you that. You will see it in the photo. You just can't like see it on a camera. And this isn't good enough because I'm actually doing it off my phone, so you can't see. Anyway, I don't know even what to think. I've actually shown my daughter this morning, and she said she could see it before. She didn't even have to squint, she's seen it. Yeah, it's just still worrying me because my progression on my other ones is pretty obvious, you know, like each time, each 24 hours. And it's definitely darker than yesterday's. It's just not like a lot darker, so it's either slow rising, which means that could be bad too, which I could be just, you know, it could be just messing with my head. I just want it to be, I don't want to do a digital yet and waste digitals either, so I might even do a digital tomorrow morning, depending on how this test looks again, because you're just going to waste it, because I don't think the digital will show till like 50. So we'll see how it goes. I'm so confused, and it's just really upset me because, yeah, just don't know what to think. I don't know. Anyway, I shall talk to you tomorrow.